Tonight on CTV3 News, Orange Walk Police launch investigation following allegations of sexual assault against a 5-year-old minor. Belize raises alert level to combat New World Screwworm threat amid confirmed cases in Guatemala. Fungal crisis threatens northern sugar industry. Agriculture Minister calls for collaborative action. And whose side is Ugo Pat on, Tracy or Shine? The Corozal North Area representative speaks out today. These are some of the stories we have for you tonight in our newscast for Friday, November 1st, 2024. Good evening with your news also simulcast on Fiesta FM 106.7. I am Joanna Rodriguez. A troubling incident involving a young child has prompted immediate action from local authorities. On Thursday, October 31st, a 5-year-old girl accompanied by her mother visited the Orange Walk police station to report a serious allegation against a family friend. According to the girl, the incident occurred on Wednesday evening, October 30th, between 8 p.m. and 8:30 p.m. while she was at her aunt's house. The child reported that a family friend inappropriately touched her and forced her to perform sexual acts on his person. In response to this grave accusation, the police acted swiftly. The child was interviewed alongside her mother by a social worker, after which a sexual assault medical legal form was issued for the minor. A thorough medical examination of the child, utilizing a sexual assault evidence collection kit to gather any potential evidence regarding the allegations, also formed part of the investigation process. 55-year-old Belizean laborer Ernest Chadwick Martinez was arrested on Thursday evening after authorities discovered cannabis during a search of his residence located on San Rafael Street in Troll Farm Village. During the search, officers uncovered 10 small transparent plastic bags containing suspected cannabis. Subsequent weighing at the police station confirmed the total weight of the substance to be 20.82 grams. The drugs were then sealed and labeled as evidence. Following the discovery, Martinez was formally arrested and charged for possession of a controlled drug. Following confirmed cases of New World Screwworm in Guatemala earlier this week, Belize is raising its alert level to extremely high. The cases were found in cattle around Los Amates, Isabel, just 44 miles from the Belize-Guatemala border. The New World Screwworm is a parasite that can affect all mammals, including humans. The parasite poses significant risks to health, food security, and livelihoods due to its rapid spread, often linked to the illegal movement of animals. As part of its awareness campaign, today the Ministry of Agriculture hosted the first of a series of training and education sessions for cattle farmers from across the north. Agriculture Minister Honorable Jose Abelardo May, who is an expert on the matter, is leading the awareness campaign to ensure prevention efforts are carried out, which will help to safeguard Belize's $100 million industry against this very serious threat.
And so it worries me that we now have the pest in Isabel, nearby Belize, 40 miles south of Belize. It worries me a lot because 30 years ago, the industry was not worth what it's worth today. Right? Today, the industry is worth close to $100 million. 30 years ago, maybe it was worth $20 million. Today, there's large investments in improved pastures, in expanding ranches. There are investments in genetics. There are bulls that cost up to $15,000, $20,000 in Belize. 30 years ago, we didn't have that. It's a total different picture now. This is the economy of the country. And so it worries me that we have this pest just a few miles from Belize. So in speaking to my technicians today, I say, you know what, it doesn't hurt. Let's invite farmers who come out. And today we have a full house. We have maybe like close to 60 farmers here or more coming to listen to the session. I have some experience that I earned 30 years ago, and I shared my experience with them with Screwworm and what we need to do. What are the things that I believe we need to do? Adan Velasquez will now address the part of how do you treat the animals now. 30 years ago, Kami, every single calf that was born was infected with screwworms. The cost of managing and treating these worms, the animals with worms, was high. But today, it will be even higher because we have a larger herd. We export 40,000 a year. And so it's a totally different picture.
Safeguarding this industry, according to Minister Mai, will depend on the practices of cattle farmers across the country. To prevent this parasite, proper husbandry is crucial, including regular inspections and treating all wounds on animals.
That the infantry that will help defend Belize against screwworm infestation are the farmers. They have to be knowledgeable. There are very few farmers today who have had experience with screwworms. This was 30 years ago. So none of the people here, very few, have had experiences dealing with screwworms. And so I have to explain to them what it is, how it comes about, what we need to do. And I was very pleased to see the amount of turnout today. It means that people are taking their business seriously. And I explained to them also that a part of this problem is the effects of climate change. We have problems right now with fusarium and sugarcane, which is a direct effect of climate change. High temperatures, high relative humidity. Fusarium lives in the soil forever. It has never affected sugarcane. Today, now, it is a pathogen affecting sugarcane that will lead us to a reduction in probably 20% productivity. Now, if the sugar industry is worth $130 million, and I have a cattle industry now that's worth close to $100 million, I cannot have both of these subsectors in this particular unpleasant situation. And so I'm telling them that they are the infantry on the ground, that they must help us to combat this problem. Whichever case comes up, they have to report the one. They have to cure now all the wounds on the animals. Every animal has to be treated. It has been 30 years now that we don't care to treat wounds on animals because we don't have screwworms. So the animal goes into the corral, they get scratched, you brand them, they come out bleeding, they get hurt in the corral. And we never treat wounds. The calves born, and we don't see them till 3 days after, some of us, right? But we cannot afford to do that now. Every animal has to be treated as though there is screwworms in the country. Treat all wounds. If there are no wounds, there are no wounds, there are no open wounds, bleeding wounds, there cannot be flies laying eggs. And so this is very important for the farmers. They have to treat the wounds of every single animal.
No.
With the parasite already having found its way to Guatemala, Minister Mai says the responsibility now falls on Belize to do everything possible to minimize the risk of infection through increased monitoring.
Fortunately, in all of Central America, we are the only country that does not import cattle. The only cattle that would be imported would be probably breeding animals, bulls from Guatemala, which is very rare. I haven't seen much importation permits come to my desk for that. Most of the cattle we import is from Guatemala, from Tisimin, from Yucatan, from the Schmaquil ongoing fair right now. So very little cattle is imported from Guatemala. No, all of Central America is totally the opposite to Belize. They all import cattle from Nicaragua. Nicaragua is the largest supplier of beef in the region. They have a 9 million herd. And 1 million animals are suspected to be moved from Nicaragua into Honduras, into Guatemala, finally into Mexico. Finally into Mexico. So, and of that million, 90% are informal trade. So the screwworms are moving in animals that are being transported. If we do not import animals, we have a lower risk. But the fly can only move in certain ways. You know. They can fly 25 miles a day. It can be transported in form of larvae in a wounded animal. Or the fly can catch a taxi. I mean, in an airplane, they found one the other day, right? And it can come in the cabin of a truck or in the pupa, in the feces of trucks that come in to buy cattle. So the first thing we need to do is those trucks need to come in sanitized into the country. They cannot come in with feces or sand or sawdust or rice all in the wrong. They have to come in clean. And then we will spray those trucks. We will treat those trucks inside and outside so that there's no risk of bringing in a pupa or an adult fly. We have to do that. We cannot import any animals from Guatemala right now. Not right now. We are not even considering that. And so this is the first time. The borders and our technicians are in the southern part of Belize right now at the Sarstoom border, where there are, I think, 12 farms that share animals across Belize and Guatemala. Our people are on the ground right now visiting those farms, informing them that there must be a control on this. Right? We are looking at those farms, ensuring that those animals have no wounds, treating animals, and that the possibility of animals coming to Belize is reduced.
While the local production and cattle supply are of great concern in the midst of this disease, Minister Mai asserts that the primary concern for Belize is the potential loss of its export quotas to Mexico if the New World screwworm were to enter the country.
The question is trade with Mexico, not Guatemala, because we can sell to Guatemala. The question is the effects of trade in Mexico. And that is what worries me right now, because there is something in the protocol that says that we have to be screwworm free. Yeah. No, that is worrying me. Guatemala has problems right now with Mexico. We don't want to have those problems. So we were up to last week in a preventative mode, prevention, because that's better than cure. But right now we have to act as if we have this and start to act and manage our livestock, our cattle, as if we have this pest in Belize. And if all of us put our efforts together, I think we can keep it out of Belize. Right. We want to keep it out of Belize.
No. Besides domestic initiatives, Minister Mai indicates that the government is also engaging with multiple partners to obtain financial support for its ongoing efforts.
There is a number of streams for funding. The U.S. government, IFIS, they are the most nervous with the situation right now. They have committed to the region $100 million, of which a part has been already disbursed through OIRSA. So the OIRSA member countries, Panama, Costa Rica, Honduras, all the countries have received their share of funding. Belize has also. Of course, the funding is not enough for everything we want to do. It is for a preventative measure. If we are to have it, then that scales up to now an eradication and control program. Cabinet approved, House of Representatives approved $1 million last week, we heard it, for the prevention of screwworms. But we are on the alert. I report to Cabinet every week. I give them an update on both sugarcane, on other subsectors, especially sugarcane and cattle right now. And if there is a need to do so, I'm certain that I have to go back to Cabinet and then to House of Representatives for a supplementary. We are hoping and praying that that does not happen. At the same time, Mexico has reached out to us, and they are saying to us that besides the regional plan we have with ORISA, that there's a proposal between three countries, Mexico, Belize, and Guatemala, for a regional plan, for a sub-regional plan, and that this plan is going to be financed by the U.S. government, USDA APHIS. We have sent in a proposal to them, we've sent in a budget to them, and so they are working on that right now. They're almost finalizing it. But they are also thinking of eradication and control. They have stepped up. Their alert is just that. And so we have to act in the same way and fashion. So I urge our technicians, I urge everybody that is in the agricultural sector or who even is not, because this affects even wildlife and humans to a certain extent, that everybody has a job to do, right? Like I said, the economy today of this industry is not what it was 30 years ago. There's a lot to lose today.
Culture through the Belize Agricultural Health Authority, BAHA, is advising the public to make immediate reports of suspected larval infestations. Individuals can contact BAHA's Animal Health Department at 302-1388 in Orange Walk, 824-4872 in Central Farm, or via text at 670-7003. For several weeks, the sugar industry in northern Belize has been collaborating to investigate the spread of Fusarium among various sugarcane crops in both the Orange Walk and Corozal districts. The situation is dire as the fungal infection has already begun to have detrimental effects on numerous cane fields, leading to widespread wilting and yellowing of the plants as the fungus feeds on the cane stacks. Agriculture Minister Honorable Jose Mai today gave us an update on this situation, adding that a report has been presented to Cabinet, and while a proposal was set to declare the infection a national emergency, there are some details that need to be ironed out.
Figures I saw is about 40,000 acres affected at different levels. There's mild and there's, I think, medium type, and then there's serious infection. And that those fields that were just very weak infections with the climate, the rain and the humidity will then move on to being more seriously affected. I went to cabinet and I explained to cabinet. I think that there was a request for us to um, to declare a state of emergency, but that does not. There's no law for us. There's not provision in the law for us to do that on agriculture. I think NEMO under the Disaster Act can declare a state of emergency, but for floods, fires, not for any phytosanitary or animal health disease. And so that is the situation with the legal part of it. Agriculture do not have any legal authority to do so.
How would that have worked, Minister, a state of emergency?
People believe that figures I saw is about 40,000 acres affected at different levels. There's mild and there's, I think, medium type, and then there's serious infection. And that those fields that were just very weak infections with the climate, the rain and the humidity will then move on to being more seriously affected. I went to cabinet and I explained to cabinet. I think that there was a request for us to declare a state of emergency, but that does not. There's no law for us. There's not provision in the law for us to do that on agriculture. I think NEMO under the Disaster Act can declare a state of emergency, but for floods, fires, not for any phytosanitary or animal health disease. And so that is the part of legal. People believe that
Despite the additional funding, Mai asserts that only through collaboration can Belize's agricultural industry recover from this crisis.
secondly is that if you get this money, what will you do with it? There is no magic bullet for fusarium. If we are to all start spraying fungicide for fusarium, there will not be enough fungicides in the country because 40,000 acres is a lot, right? And secondly, it will be a very expensive and environmentally unfriendly practice to use fungicide. So we have, it is not a single bullet, it's not a single cure. It has to be an integrated approach, right? We have to use probably biological control, the different organisms. We have to look at resistant varieties. We have to look at different cultural practices. We have to look at water, drainage and irrigation. Because right now with the amount of water on the fields, the fungus is spreading faster. Right? We have to look at technology. If we go in and spray with the pumps, we are spreading disease. It sticks on our clothing and we spread it to our fields. So it has to be looking at probably aerial spraying with drones. And so it's a whole integrated system. There's no magic bullet. I wish that there was something that we could go to the store, buy it, apply it, and we have no problem. It's not like that. So it has to be an entire program we have to put in place. So we have asked the technicians to touch base with our partners in development for them to help guide us how we can develop a program. I will tell you, many years ago when I was a kid, smut was a disease in sugarcane. It used to affect sugarcane. But at that time, we had the local varieties. We had the bamboo variety. We had the white cane variety. And those were susceptible. Eventually, we brought in new varieties, and today smut is gone. But it was using resistant varieties. It could be that this will be a case because it appears that the varieties we have right now planted are very susceptible to this disease. Now, is there a variety out there that is resistant or tolerant? I don't know. BSI doesn't know. SIR doesn't know. Right? We are learning from the experts in Brazil, from the Mexicans, listening to the experiences, and when we have a complete understanding and a clear way forward, we have to act.
Coming up next, internal strife continues in the UDP. Whose side is Ukapat on? We'll tell you. Stay tuned.
I gotta go to the bathroom.
Okay, Dad.
2514 can transit on check.
What's with all the police everywhere? I'm not supposed to tell. You know the butcher? The freaking nut job that goes around chopping people up? The feds heard that he's gonna be here today. So they set up a trap for him. This whole concert, it's a trap. They're watching all the exits, they're checking everyone that leaves. There's no way to get out of here. I've never felt this before. I feel out of control.
Shoot left. Where should I put her?
Thank you.
This individual that we're searching for won't panic. He's realized he can't get out. He's going to try to cause chaos.
Dad, what are you doing? You're acting weird.
This dude is next level insane.
What's happening?
I think you're looking for me.
Sorry, guys.
Sorry. Sorry.
How you all doing? You having fun?
Come closer.
What's going on, Daddy?
Open the goddamn door!
I can't get away. I can't stop. I'll just do this one last one.
Enjoy the rest of the concert.
Water levels along rivers, streams, and ponds way above normal, and flood waters are gushing into national roads, yards, and in some cases seeping into homes. Across the country, there is flooding reported in all major bodies of water, including the Rio Hondo and New River in the north, the Mopan and Macal River in the west, the Belize River along with the Saboon and Southern Lagoon in the south. As we told you on Thursday, here in the north, the historical Albion Islands are experiencing severe flooding to the extent that the San Antonio Road has been officially closed to vehicular traffic. This week, Prime Minister John Briceño, along with NEMO Minister Andre Perez and Area Representative Ramon Cervantes, were in the area assessing the damage as the Emergency Operations Center is up and running and shelters are being prepared for anyone who may want to seek refuge.
Incessant rains over the past few days have impacted the entire country, and there are reports of flooding from a number of communities, including the Albion Islands here in the north, which includes San Antonio, San Roman, and Santa Cruz, which are historically known to flood during the rainy season. This year, the bad weather has created a bad situation for the residents of these areas. For several days, flood waters in these villages have been on the rise, giving the need for the BDF to step in to transport residents, particularly students, in and out of the villages. On Thursday, NEMO Minister Andre Perez joined the Prime Minister and Area Representative Honorable Ramon Cervantes on a tour of these communities. The first stop was at San Roman village. Here, the main road leading to the community is under a few inches of water, allowing only high vehicles to pass through. Since last week, the BDF has been in the area providing daily trips in and out of the village.
Well, the water continues rising. So, I've been coming here, every day since from like 5, 6 in the morning. And if up to yesterday, the BDF trucks could pass, easily from the other side to here to San Antonio village. But this morning it was too high. And so the water keeps rising. Thanks to them, to NEMO and the BDF, they deploy.
Incessant rains over the past few days have impacted the entire country, and there are reports of flooding from a number of communities, including the Albion Islands here in the north, which includes San Antonio, San Roman, and Santa Cruz, which are historically known to flood during the rainy season. This year, the bad weather has created a bad situation for the residents of these areas. For several days, flood waters in these villages have been on the rise, giving the need for the BDF to step in to transport residents, particularly students, in and out of the villages. On Thursday, NEMO Minister Andrea Perez joined the Prime Minister and Area Representative Honorable Ramon Cervantes on a tour of these communities. The first stop was at San Roman Village. Here, the main road leading to the community is under a few inches of water, allowing only high vehicles to pass through. Since last week, the BDF has been in the area providing daily trips in and out of the village.
Well, the water continues rising. So, I've been coming here, every day since from like 5, 6 in the morning. And if up to yesterday, the BDF trucks could pass, easily from the other side to here to San Antonio Village. But this morning, it was too high. And so the water keeps rising. Thanks to them, to NEMO and the BDF, they deployed a lanchon, a skiff, so as to help the people cross. And then we also have the private canoes and small boats that take people across. Then the buses are waiting on the other side and they take the people to work. So that has been working. One of the challenges is the very early morning runs where people have to catch a 5:30 bus. It's a bit challenging, and that's what we're trying to sort out. But the situation is that the water keeps rising. We don't know to what limit, but I have seen it. I think when it was Mitch that came, and I think Chantal, I've seen this water very, very, very high. Even above us where we are standing right now. So God forbid it reaches those levels, but it keeps rising. That is the situation.
The next stop was San Antonio Rio Hondo. Here, the situation is a bit more severe, and residents can only access the village with the help of canoes manned by locals or a BDF-sanctioned SIF, as water on the road is well above what a vehicle can handle.
Certainly, I think I want to start off first by saying that yes, indeed, I received the call from Minister Monchi, but at the same time that we have been discussing, and of course the NEMO director, the National Emergency Coordinator, is here traveling with me today. Of course, we have been keeping everybody abreast of what is unfolding, and we saw the need immediately that we need to come in and take a look. I'm accompanied as well not only by the NEC but the entire team from NEMO department. They have a crew right now in Douglas doing some reconnaissance. We have some equipment there that can do something over the air so we can assess it. We certainly are putting all together to make a report, of course, and we need to do it urgently, and that's the most important that we recognize here, as with Minister Cervantes. I think I want to share very important, the extreme. 2024 has been an extraordinary year. I've seen in the month of April, May, the other side of climate change. The extreme drought, and during that extreme drought, we saw the fires that erupted in the Toledo district and the Coyote district. Now here we are 6 months later, and we're in a reverse, where we are in desperately need of water 6 months, and now here is a run of water. So that's a big message here we're doing. First of all, the most important thing is the government is committed to working together. As Minister Monchi rightfully replaced, we have to recognize the different departments. We have to recognize the BDF, MIDH, and of course the NEMO department, all working together, engaged. So it's not only about coming here to look at it. We have to go back to make that work, find those affected people, and to work with them. We're heading shortly to the area of Douglas, and we're going to Santa Cruz first. But lessons learned, that is what we need to experience, what we need to do. We need to build resilience. How can we do this? This is not going to change. Although it's an extraordinary year, we will not be surprised if this is occurring because it's happening more often. So we have to prepare for those plans. We have to plan now for preventive measures, what we can do to do it better, to whenever it comes next year, what can we do? And that is the work of NEMO to reach out and carry out those recommendations. And certainly with this government, with very keen ears, we will implement.
With Belize forecasted to receive up to 2 inches of additional rainfall over the weekend, the already dire situation is expected to get even worse in the coming days.
We'll continue to do the work because that is one thing what the government is doing at the different departments, the Coast Guard, not the Coast Guard, the BDF and MIDH. We're doing the runs providing because we just got information. We have about 20 students from the San Roman area that go to school. So we are providing that type of transportation that we're doing. Certainly, in terms of supplies, we have strategically located different areas, especially we have one here in San Juan that has supplies there, so we're assessing right now quickly so that we can provide that supplies. I can tell you that the department is very much organized. They experienced people that know that we have everything in place, especially the data that we have there. So we know that when we move, we can activate, we can implement, we can provide supplies quickly. And that's what is the game that we're doing here today, to visit, to really do that assessment, so that at the end of the day, when we go back home, we're doing all of this work, engaging with Minister Cervantes and the different areas that are affected as well.
While there isn't much the government can do to make the water dissipate faster, Prime Minister Briceño says his government is prepared to offer any necessary support to ensure that residents of these affected communities can maintain as much normalcy in their daily lives as possible.
We're out here taking a look at the different areas. Right now I'm going to Blue Creek. I'm hoping that tomorrow I go into the Belize River Valley along with Minister Perez. And I need to acknowledge the work that he is doing, Mr. Carballo and his team, Homer and all of them, in trying to assist the people that are being affected. The air rep again here, Monchi, is working out with the people with these small canoes to be able to sign a contract with them so that they could be moving people every day in and out of the village. But before we do that, the BDF, NEMO is going to get life jackets for them, because we cannot allow to be people riding these boats without a life jacket. God forbid something happens and that you have a loss of life. So there's a lot of things that we have to be doing, and we're doing our best. We're here to be able to try to see how best we could help the Belizean people.
At this time, residents of Douglas Village are evacuating as the village is also experiencing major flooding, which has led to a health hazard for its villagers. Reporting for CTV3 News, Norma Ruiz.
Sticking to the sugar industry, Minister Mai today also gave his input on a number of matters of concern, including the proposal to have the 2025 crop season begin in early December. Now, while everyone would like to see that happen, Minister Mai says there are several factors at play which may ultimately dictate the start of the crop this year.
Because there are many factors at play here. There's one, the weather. If we want to begin tomorrow, we can't. One, the weather. If the weather improves, we start to fix sugar roads. We cannot fix sugar roads anymore. Sugar roads are in a total state of disarray. Culverts have been washed away. The roads are in a mess. So even if you want to begin the crop, you can begin the crop, but you can't transport cane freely. So the government has an obligation to fix these roads, but we have to be reasonable. It is raining. I can't fix the road when it's raining. Right. We want to do it. We have the budget for it, but we can't do it. It's raining. Then we have to look at, are the cane fields ready to be harvested? Can we get into the cane fields and out? It's all wet. Transporting sugarcane in wet conditions is very expensive. The quality is poor. The cost of milling is expensive. Do we have sugarcane that's ready to be harvested? So this is a technical decision that has to include all these factors before we decide to begin.
But money has been.
In terms of the latest cane price, which was announced earlier this week by BSI ESR, Minister Mai says that while it is the highest paid in Belize, prices can certainly be better for our farmers.
Kami, like any other cane farmer, I would want it to be more. If it's a high price, high is you see, high for Belize standards, maybe it's the highest. But look at the neighbors around you, and there are certain conditions. They have better markets. They have better. Each country is different, but I believe it could be better. Okay. I could believe it could be better.
All right.
One matter which is expected to be resolved before the start of the 2025 crop season, according to Minister Mai, is the Commission of Inquiry into the Sugar Industry, which is expected to be completed by the end of this month.
And then any word when it comes to the Commission of Inquiry, they continue doing their work?
Yes, they continue to do their work. The work is ongoing. I think they are at the stage where they're writing reports. There may be one, they may have to come back again, do one more last visit before they finish the report. I'm looking at the end of November for the reports to be completed.
All right.
Minister Abelardo Mai today also further weighed in on the proposal by BSI ESR to market pre-packaged sugar in the local Belizean market. BSI has said that aside from providing Belizeans with a more attractive and higher quality product, it would also play a crucial role in stopping the illegal contraband of Belizean sugar. Once more reiterating his position, Minister Mai says he is all for packaged sugar. However, he believes there should also be an option for the consumer to choose between packaged sugar, which will come at premium cost, and an economic alternative.
We haven't discussed it in cabinet, but we are doing numbers. I think that an increase in price has to occur at some point for packaged sugar, and it has to be a total different package. It cannot be the one size fits all, where this is the price control for this sugar and done. You know, it has to be packaged sugar, it has to be industrial type sugar, and it has to be zoned. You know, Corozal or Jack has a price, San Pedro has another price, the cost of getting to San Pedro is expensive, Toledo has another price, and so on. So it is a total program of payment that has to be implemented. But maybe we can move ahead with the packaged sugar. I think we should give it some consideration because the consumer has the option. I prefer to buy this sugar and package, or I prefer to buy this plastic bag, not a package. I support that we need to have a packaged sugar and that the price must be on that. Increase the price on that. You add your packaging, you have a markup for those who want to buy packaged sugar.
Not increasing price overall.
Or not overall.
This morning, Beltrade officially launched its Economic Investment Promotion Strategy and Action Plan during an event held at the Biltmore Hotel. The launch was attended by distinguished guests, including officials from the Ministry of the Blue Economy and representatives from the Inter-American Development Bank, IDB. The newly unveiled strategy aligns with the national plan developed by the Ministry of the Blue Economy, aimed at providing enhanced opportunities for coastal communities throughout Belize. Ishmael Quiroz, Executive Director of Beltrade, emphasized the importance of economic diversification as a foundational element of this initiative.
So economic diversification is one of the fundamental concerns for every country, and in particular for a country like Belize that is traditionally, it's been heavily dependent on tourism and agriculture, and especially post-COVID, we need to diversify the economic activities that we engage in. Now, we're already ahead of the game in terms of we're already a blue economy pioneer. There's a lot of water, sea-based activities that we're involved in, but it certainly goes beyond fishing, it goes beyond shrimp farming, it even goes beyond the tourism that's focused around our island product. And so Beltrade is the front line for investment promotion activities and interaction. And so the role that we play is really guiding the investors who we interact with towards what else is on offer. There's a lot of services, there's a lot of infrastructural opportunities for investment, and that's what we're particularly interested in promoting. So really just diversifying the activities that are blue economy oriented, and guiding investors to really bring foreign direct investment to Belize, and also to guide our domestic investors to what is on offer, what is possible for job creation in the country. Sure. So the reference was Pan-Caribbean quantification of the value of the blue economy in the countries all across the Caribbean. Now, how much Belize can actually tap into depends on how quickly we can actually improve our investment attraction efforts, as well as our skills, the skills on the ground of the people providing services and goods to tap into that market. And so while there is a collective high value of the potential economic value, we are a part of that. So we are a part of that, and it's left up to us to see how we can actually tap into the opportunities.
The IDB is playing a pivotal role in funding this strategic movement. Bank manager Rocio Medina Bolivar expressed her optimism about the initiative.
Well, we're supporting the elaboration, the preparation of the blue economy strategy. Actually, we have been working together with Beltrade and key stakeholders in all the process. I think almost a year in the preparation of this strategy, and we are very happy to be here actually on the launch of this key strategy focus on how to increase, foreign investment on that particular area of blue economy in Belize.
Let's talk about the support itself that was given. Any technical, financial, what kind of actual support was put into?
The IDB is already working in several areas, working on the blue economy arena. Actually, we have technical assistance and working also on an investment program focused on blue economy particularly. But for the preparation of the strategy, we provide technical assistance and provide, for instance, an engagement with key stakeholders in order to see, because this is a very comprehensive and holistic strategy. So we work on identifying the key sectors and priorities and confirm where Belize has the strengths on the different areas, do an analysis gap, also strengthening and technical assistance to Beltrade to actually how to address and bring more foreign investment for this key sector for the economy. Because blue economy, and it's clear that any investment on this area definitely will create more job opportunities. And so for us, it's very important to work on this area as other areas. IDB is the only multilateral development bank which an office and present here, and we support different areas. And for us, private sector involvement in how to increase foreign investment in areas of the economy is key for our strategy here and the work with Belize.
Felicia Cruz, the director of the Ministry of the Blue Economy, was also present at the launch. She praised the initiative and pledged her ministry's support.
Thank you so much. Our Ministry of Blue Economy has been playing a very pivotal role in terms of providing necessary feedback relating to our key priority sectors that have contributed to the socioeconomic growth and well-being of our coastal communities. Our ministry aims to continue its collaboration and partnership with entities like Beltrade, the Ministry of Investment, and other partners, critical players that will help to navigate and advance these initiatives in ensuring that we have the financial direct investments that are needed to propel these sectors forward and really for the people to benefit greater from this development. It definitely complements our national blue economy development policy and strategy, which embraces opportunities to mobilize resources into key strategic sectors that were identified. Those are coastal and coastal tourism, aquaculture and fisheries, and of course the maritime transportation sector. Of course, there are other areas that are embedded within the strategy and action plan, but as a priority, those were signaled as garnering the greater support and greater participation for these coastal communities.
The new initiatives visited during the event are expected to pave the way for significant advancement in the nation's economic landscape. The ongoing conflict within the United Democratic Party, UDP, raises an urgent question: when will the saga end? This matter has become increasingly complicated with internal divisions emerging between prominent party figures Shine Barrow and Tracy Tigger Panton. The infighting has left many observers, including party hierarchy members, grappling for answers. Key party members have openly pledged their support for Tracy Panton, who was elected as the interim leader of the UDP during a convention held on October 21, 2023 in Belize City. Prominent supporters include Omar Figueroa and Elodio Aragon. In contrast, some members prefer to stay on the sidelines, such as the first deputy leader of the UDP, Hugo Pat. In a recent interview, Pat voiced his concerns regarding the current state of the party. While he acknowledged the ongoing turmoil, he refrained from committing to supporting Panton directly.
Well, Jules, my position is this. I am concerned about the situation. And yes, we have to understand that while Tracy is garnering a lot of support, at this point in time, Jules, I think it's very important for us to consider the fact that, I mean, there was a time for all of this. There was a convention last year where an executive was elected. And so what we're looking at is not even supporting one or the other, but basically maintaining the stability that this party needs. We need a strong opposition. And how do you get a strong opposition? You need stability in the UDP. So that my position is simple. I am merely following the process. I took some time to explain to leaders emerging, what do we do next? This is not the kind of track record that we want to set at this point in time. So while I could fully understand and I appreciate that Tracy pulled a majority, pulled quite a number of delegates, I will not be one to underestimate what she did. But what I'm saying, this is not the time for that. And so we have to respect what at the time that the delegates then back in 2023 decided. I think that is where we need to go. I spoke both to Shine, I spoke both to Tracy, and I told them, look, and I quite recall telling Tracy, look, Tracy, why not wait it out? It's just a couple of months ahead before the general elections. Rally your troops then. For now, what we can do, let's rally our troops, let's energize them, let's bring that fire, but let's do so against the PUP, who we know at this point in time will be calling a general election at any given moment. And so this was precisely my suggestion, and I told China as well.
As of this afternoon, Tracy Panton and her supporters remain in control of the UDP headquarters on Youth for the Future Drive in Belize City. And there is more news after the break. Stay tuned.
This plan, I can't leave this plan. Smart Belize!
Hey there, smart thinkers. We're turbocharging your mobile experience with Smart's powered up postpaid plans. Imagine a world where your data speeds flows faster than ever. Well, guess what? We've cranked up the dial and unleashed the postpaid power of Smart's lightning fast LTE data on all our postpaid plans. That's right, no speed bumps, more data. It's like having a limitless highway of data speed at your fingertips. Whether you're a lone ranger with an individual plan or a squad rolling with a group plan, everyone gets to surf, stream, and share at enhanced, full, high-quality speed. Switch to Smart's powered-up postpaid plans today and ride the wave of postpaid power. Visit any Smart showroom or smart-bz.com for details and make your mobile experience smarter and faster. Smart, bringing people together.
I know I can't leave this plan. I can't leave this plan.
Yesterday, we took a look at the latest statistics from the Statistical Institute of Belize in regards to Consumer Price Index. Today, we take a look at the figures for total domestic exports for September 2024, which amounted to 29.3 million, up by 39% or 8.2 million when compared to exports from September 2023, which were valued at 21.1 million. For the month of September 2024, increases in the three major traditional agricultural commodities contributed to the overall rise in merchandise exports. Banana sales were up by 4.2 million during the month due to higher export volumes. Earnings from citrus products almost tripled, increasing from 1.4 million to 4.3 million, owing to favorable prices for orange concentrate. Additionally, stronger sugar exports boosted earnings by $2 million. Revenues from pepper sauces doubled during the month, while sales of marine products rose by 0.3 million. Similarly, cattle exports increased by 0.3 million. On the other hand, earnings from animal feed dropped by 0.9 million. Revenues from goods classified as other were up by 7.9 million due to largely increased exports of alcoholic beverages and cattle. Molasses earnings rose by 5.5 million in the first 9 months of 2024. In the area of imports, Belize's total imports of goods for the month of September 2024 were valued at 231.5 million. This represented an increase of 13.5% or 27.5 million from September 2023. Merchandise imports rose across most commodity categories, with the largest increases seen in other manufacturers, commercial free zones, manufactured goods and machinery, and transport equipment. Other manufacturers' goods classified as other manufacturers saw an increase of 8.1 million from 16.3 million in September 2023 to 24.4 million in September 2024. Commercial free zones category rose by 7.8 million from 24.8 million to 32.6 million due to higher imports of handbags and sports uniforms. In the area of decreasing categories, the commercial free zone with reduced imports of items such as cigarettes, footwear, and floor fans, that is, goods designated for the commercial free zone, declined by 12.5 million during the period from 265.9 million in 2023 to 253.4 million in 2024. And that's the news. We invite you to join us for another newscast on Monday, November 4th here on CTV3 News and Fiesta FM 106.7. Remember that to read the text version of the news, you can visit our website at ctv3belizenews.com. You can also log on to our Facebook page for current stories at facebook.com/CTV3BelizeNews or our YouTube channel at CTV3 News BZ. From all of us here at CTV3 News, have a safe and pleasant weekend. Thank you for watching and listening. Good night.